loves, and welcome to today's video. July and Sunrise on the Readathon has come to an end, so now it is time to think about August, which I think I've gone a little bit too ambitious this month. Honestly, I probably am going to hit a post-readathon slump, but this TBR has a shit ton of books on it anyway, so let's just get into it. The first group of books are all of the audiobooks that I placed on hold for Sunrise on the Readathon and didn't fit prompts by the time the hold came in or just didn't get around to. So the first one is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This, in the description, describes itself as like a fantasy Sherlock Holmes, so I think it's like a mystery story with the background of lies, deceit, but also magic. A high-ranking Imperial officer has been murdered, so this detective comes in with her sidekick to try and solve what's going on. Heard good things about it. The waitlist was kind of really long for this one. This is actually one I placed on hold months ago, so I'm hoping that it lives up to the wait time. Next is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. This book is a classic. I think I placed it on hold for Banned Books Week. So I think Ray Bradbury is the same author who did Fahrenheit 451. This one is about humanity's attempts to colonize Mars. I really liked Fahrenheit 451, so I'm hoping that something else from this author will also be good, and I need to read some more classic sci-fi. I've been neglecting that recently. The next book is Hell Followed Us by Andrew Joseph White. I have had this low-key on my radar for a while because I think the cover art is absolutely stunning. And then You Weren't Meant to Be Human by this same author comes out soon, and I was like, I do want to read that, but I haven't read any of his other stuff yet, so I should probably like do that. Hell Followed Us is about some like 16-year-old who's escaping a cult. He's been infected by like a bioweapon and monsters are hunting him down. All that sounds cool. I ended up reading a lot of like YA fantasy this month, so keeping the train rolling. Hell Followed With Us. Another thing I read a lot of in July was books by Tiffany D. Jackson. So one of them I didn't get around to but still have out from the library is Allegedly. This is about like a teen girl who is being accused of killing a baby, allegedly, and how she's trying to survive living in a group home while this trial is going on. Based on the other works from Tiffany D. Jackson I've read recently, I am expecting this to wreck me. So, looking forward to being devastated. Next is The Family Experiment by John Mars. This is another one I've had on hold for like months and finally came in and then I couldn't get to because readathon stuff. This is about a future where having kids is very expensive and people can no longer afford to do it. How futuristic is that? Because that's kind of the situation now, eh? Wow, that was very Canadian. To satisfy people who want to have kids but can't afford them, there's like a virtual kid option, and they make like a game show out of it where they have to try and raise a kid from 0 to 18 in under 9 months, and whoever wins, I don't know, wins something. I've heard really good things about John Mars and really good things about this one specifically, so I'm looking forward to reading it. I do want to read more John Mars, but like all of them have such long wait lines. Hopefully, now that I actually have one out from the library, that it's one I enjoy. Next is one I got out for translation week and never got around to before that prompt ended. So The Trial by Franz Kafka. I loved The Metamorphosis, so I was wanting to read some more Franz Kafka. This one's fairly short. It is about a man who's been arrested and is being charged with the crime, and he just can't get anyone to tell him what that crime is, so he can't like properly defend himself because he doesn't know why he's been arrested. And it sounds really interesting. I enjoyed The Metamorphosis, and hopefully I enjoy this one as well. Last audiobook is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. This is the second book in the Hunger Games series. I got it out from the library because the readathon last month was Hunger Games themed, and I didn't get this in time to actually read it for the readathon. The Hunger Games is about a dystopian world where each district has to send 2 tributes to fight to the death, and this is the second one in the series, so rebellion and fighting against the system and all those good fun things. I'm looking forward to reading this again as an adult because I was not a big fan of them as a teenager, but now that I reread the first Hunger Games novel, I liked it a lot more now than I did as a teenager, so maybe the rest of the series will rally as well, and we'll have to read it to find out. For physical reads in August, Bunny by Mona Awad. Katie Colson on her Patreon is doing a read-along series where we read one part of this each week together on a live stream, and I was lucky enough to get an ARC, thank you NetGalley, for We Love You Bunny, the sequel that's coming out in September, and I need to reread this to reconceptualize the events based on some of the reveals we had in We Love You Bunny. So I'm not an annotation girly, but I have definitely started highlighting things in this book because I just need to understand and conceptualize this based on the reveals in We Love You Bunny. This is about Samantha, who is in like a workshop grad program at a university for writing, and within her like cohort are these 4 other women that she in her head refers to as the bunnies because they are just so fucking weird and like culty. So what's going on with them? This book is a magical realism, so probably some weird ass shit. Well, definitely some weird ass shit. I've already read it, but I love this book, so I'm reading it again. The other physical read on my TBR is The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Silvia Moreno Garcia I have read before. She's most well known for that one book about the mushrooms. Mexican Gothic. I'm running on 3 hours sleep and a quarter of a Trenta. My brain's not processing on all cylinders right now. This is about a woman who's doing like a master's thesis on witchcraft, and then she realizes that some of the stories resonate with some of her family's legacy stories and starts to question whether magic is real, I think. I do really like Silvia Moreno Garcia's writing style. Some of the books have been just kind of okay, but I am hoping that this one blows me away because also like the color of this cover is absolutely beautiful. I'm loving that. And then you'd think I'd be burned out on readathons, but I am participating in ARC August, but just like on the non-competitive team because I need a little bit of a break, but still want to get some ARCs read in August. So the 2 most high priority ones for me are Slash Beauties by A. Rushby. This is about anatomical Venuses that come to life to kill the men who have wronged them. Love that as a concept. It's described as body horror, so I'm expecting something horrifying, but I kind of want that. I haven't read anything too like overtly gross recently, so hoping that one hits that spot. And lastly, The Gallery Assistant, which I think I put on my TBR back in May, and I did not read it in May, and I did not read it in June, and I still haven't read it in July. So The Gallery Assistant by Kate Belly. This is about a gallery assistant who is in a web of lie and deceits and then is accused of murdering an up-and-coming artist. Murder, deceit, lies, mystery. Lots of falsely accused people in my TBR this month. Sometimes you just pick books based on what's available and a theme arises. Those are all the books on my TBR for August. It's a lot of them. It's a lot more than I usually plan to read because I do still try and like mood read half of the month and then stick to a list the other half. And we'll see how much I can get done considering I've finished 50 books in July on top of doing a lot of spreadsheet stuff. So if you made it to the end of this video, let me know what you're reading in August, or leave the witch emoji for The Bewitching. If you enjoyed, like and consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my future videos. There are links in the descriptions to my Instagram and my Goodreads if you want some previews on what I read throughout the month. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Back when I was young, women, there were still witches. Back then, when I was a young woman, there were still witches.